Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Châtillon 15555, the Tier 9 French SPG, located on the attack team on Steps Assault. It's under the command of talon1958, and yes, it's another entry in the contest for the weekend line. .155mm howitzer mounted on top of a chassis that, well, would have been designed based from the Batchat 25-ton hull and combination of the Patton tank, the M47. It's actually quite an interesting Arty because it had a revolving turret, which is what a lot of forces actually wanted at the time, because of course it meant that it could fire in any direction with the hull pointing in the escape route so they could get away if necessary. Now, it's only capable of 680 alpha, and it will penetrate through 48mm of armor, so not a lot of armor, with a 7.6 meters burst radius. He's fully dialed in on the Saladin. Just missed him for 65 hit points of splash. Actually, it should be Saladin, but I know that most of the British forces called them Saladins. Okay, that guy's now hiding behind the rock, which is not going to protect him. And this Arty does have a rather fast reload time, because it's actually low caliber, which makes it easier for the crew to handle the shell. Now, we can see that the actual reload time that Talon's got is 23.3 seconds. The real reload time by the book is 28.76, so he actually has reduced it by 5 seconds. Next target. Rounds out. SU-101. Direct hit right on the engine deck. 177. You can see it's right on actually the front plate. You can see the mark where it actually landed. It's not far from where the driver's hatch is. You know, poor driver had to sit up front and watch what was going on, but he was separated from the rest of his crew because they were all at the back. And the danger there is, of course, that the driver's going to be the first one who feels it. Oh, that was a good one. The Waffenträger, Panzer IV, took a big hit there for 680, 665. That's a low roll penetrating shot. And he's moving again. This Arty does actually move quite fast, actually. 56.3 kilometers an hour. It's one of the fastest Artys in the game, not the fastest. That, of course, is the Burt, the FB304. It's capable of 72 or 70 point, I think it's 72 kilometers an hour. Okay, rounds out. Another direct hit, this time on the Batchat 25 TAP. Yes, have to do a little bit of confirmation that the Burt, I think it is 72 actually, but yes, 72.4 actually. So I was right, it was in the 72 mark. Okay, the SU-101, he's almost fully dialed in, rounds out. Nope. Fortunately, the rock got that one. RNG said, nope, not going to let that one happen. Well, we're 2 up already, and it is an assault game which only lasts 10 minutes. And we've already burned through 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes. Okay, he's pushing on the south route, which is actually probably a good idea because the south route is the one that's most vulnerable to falling. Dialing in like SU-101. Gonna land the shell over the top of the rock. Rounds out. Yes, he does get it this time. The SU-101 goes down immediately afterwards, and he's got some stun assist. Oh, they're fair moving now, but the enemy is actually pushing on the west side of the map, which is a big mistake because you've got to protect your cap. You can't go all the way round and try and think that you can come back along the east side following our guys. Now our guys are near their cap and are starting to cap, and they've suddenly realized to their horror that yes, we could actually win this one because we could deprive the enemy of the cap area. Okay, got a direct hit there from the T3 Jaeger, which is I think it's that's one of the new tanks. Yes. I didn't identify that one for starters. I thought it said, instead of Jaeger, I thought it said Jaguar. But I was thinking, no, I don't know of any Jaguar in the game. Okay, there's only 3 enemies left, and they're all up in the north. And there's the enemy Arty. We're dialing in as fast as we can. You'll have to lead the target just slightly, not a lot. That's it. Rounds out. Looks good. It splashed him. RNG said, no, you're not going to have a direct hit, but it was enough. And he's still stunned. And we've capped out. That's it. Game's over. Well, we didn't get a chance to kill the last enemy because the cap managed to complete well early. Even though there was only 1 enemy left, we didn't get the bonus, but certainly they did win the game anyway. Second class tanker for talon1958 in the batch at 155.55. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And I think that's really down to the fact that he didn't get any kills. In fact, he was safe from getting a kill because he didn't get a full roll on the SU-101 when he hit it towards the end, but he died and virtually immediately afterwards to somebody else. Win rate wasn't particularly high, 1574. And I think that mainly down to the fact he didn't get a whole lot of stun assist, and he was trying to get damage, but he just couldn't get enough in the time concerned. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he actually did quite well because he actually came 4th on damage in this game. The highest damage in the game turned out to be the Châtillon 4 on the enemy team, on our own team, with 3,348 hit points of damage. Second highest was the Shrek with 2,323, and the third highest was the talon on the enemy team, 1,890 hit points. We can see that Talon picked up 1,738. He was doing his best he could, and of course he got the Confederate, the only medal given in that game. When it came to kills, though, he didn't get any, which puts him right down here. But the high scorer was the Shrek with 4 kills. 3 kills went to the LT432. 2 kills went to the AMX. Oh, and also to the T54 Heavy. And 2 kills went to the AMX30 on our own team. So, yes, he's way down with no kills. But when it came to base XP, he's actually in 4th place because the LT432 did 1,111. He must have done quite a bit of spotting. He did 2,988 hit points. Second highest was the Shrek with 932, and 930 went to the Châtillon 4, and Talon's directly behind him with 865. He only fired 9 rounds, so he didn't really get a huge amount of chance to actually earn more and get him a higher mastery. 5 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot, which I think we did actually see was the waffle that he managed to get the penetration on. At least if I can show that. There it is, 665 low roll penetrating shot, just under the average. And when it came to splashes, he got 7. 1,738 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 6 of the enemy, didn't get any kills. There's the Confederate. 2,126 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. So he did do well on stun assist. He just didn't do enough to actually get a higher than the second class. On a premium count, he earned 77,956 credits and 2,595 experience points. So, is this enough to actually beat Angelina and take away the lead? Here's Angelina's leading score at the moment. It's a second class bruiser and Confederate. And if we check that against Talon's second class bruiser and Confederate, but it's got a lower win 8. So yes, Angelina still holds the lead by the virtue of that win 8 of 1801. So yes, Talon's going to have to send in another replay, and he has. So let's have a look at that battle. The second replay is on the Halluf map, and we're on the south spawn. Game on. Well, as many times we've seen in the past, Talon's using the stock howitzer, which of course is the same one on the Gorilla as the Top Gun. It's got a great trajectory, it's very high, but it doesn't do quite as much damage as the Top Gun. So it only does 480 alpha, it doesn't do the 600 you get from the Top Gun. The good thing is you also get more ammunition to play with, and that makes a big difference because, of course, with the Hummel, with the Top Gun, you only get 18 rounds. With this one, you get a lot more. 27 in total. You can see that Talon's aiming for the AMX 1375, who's trying to come up that little gap there. Oh, bit of rescue bloom there at the wrong moment. Okay, the guy stopped at the gap, rounds out. Oh, that one hit the rock. It didn't hit the AMX 1375, but it frightened him enough to pull away from that position, because if it had actually gone into him, I think that would have been the not the end of his game, but it certainly might have penetrated him. These rounds, as I said, 480 alpha, 38mm pen, 6.7 meter burst radius. Now you could probably get around onto that CS653, and he does. 115 hit points, non-penetrating shot, but it certainly tells the enemy, keep off the territory, keep off the grass. Staghounds now come up. Now we're almost loaded, and he just got hit by a round fired by one of our tanks down there. I think it's the Type 62. Trying to line another round out. Rounds out. This time he does get it bang on target, and the Staghound goes down with a penetrating shot. 427 hit points. That's all he had left, but he's out the game. It's a first kill for Talon. Now that CS653, he's trying to get up that slope. I don't think he's going to succeed. But over here we've got a Cromwell who's trying to be sneaky and hide behind the rock. Talon can put a round in there. Now you can see he's so close to this rock, but he can still loop shells right up over the top of it into the enemy. You can see the enemy tanks are trying to get off. Oh, they got the Type 62. The Cromwell actually managed to kill him, and we're now looking towards the northeast corner, northwest corner, and oh yes, he actually did hit the Turtle One, although it says armor not hit. He did actually get some stun at the very least. Now, can he actually put a round in? He's red lining there. That rock on top of this rock is actually blocking the shot, so he's backing away just a little, but it might be easier for him to get closer, although it is fairly dangerous. The thing about having a short range arty like this is that you do anticipate you're going to be having a little bit of danger. You might actually get spotted by the enemy and then taken out. The enemy arty in this game are a Hummel and an M44. Well, the M44 is bound to have the ability to hit Talon wherever he is on the map, because it's got a very long range. Well, we're 7 up on the enemy now, and we just spotted, I think it was a Staghound, in that little gap area. And there's the enemy M44. Now he has to stay still to fire, and now because we know where he is, oh, rescue bloom again. That's one of the banes of being in a Hummel. Oh, but he got a direct hit right on the money, exactly where he aimed it, and so he's got his second kill of the game. Now the enemy's trying to sneak up on this side. Got 2 tanks on the enemy team. I think that CS53 pushed his own Hellcat off the edge of the cliff there. I don't think the Hellcat actually wanted to make that trip, but he has actually been pushed off. There's only 3 enemies left, 2 of them on this side of the map. We could possibly penetrate the Super Hellcat, because remember, he's got very thin armor, makes him a perfect target for an arty. Rounds out. Well, it was right on target where he aimed, and the Hellcat went down, so he got the stun assist. Now, can we put a shell into the CS-53? 20.50 seconds for a reload. Oh, what did our T-34 think he was doing? He managed to flip himself, got killed by the CS-53, and our shell comes in just after the guy dies, and that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a second-class tanker for talon1958 in the Hummel. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10 in this one, and he got a win ace of 1,358. But is that enough to beat Angelina? Well, I think you know the answer is no. Angelina still in the lead with a second-class bruiser and Confederate from a very good game, which was very nice to watch, even though Angelina actually died during the battle. She got a win ace of 1801, which puts her still in the lead by virtue of the fact that she managed to get the Confederate, but Talon didn't get it on this occasion. So, yes, both of these replays, good attempts, but I'm afraid they failed, and Angelina's still in the lead, and that means Talon's going to have to send in more replays to see if he can beat her. So we'll probably see those in the next couple of days. If you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.